North Korean employees of an industrial centre co-managed with South Korea have not returned to work. On Monday, Pyongyang warned it would pull tens of thousands of its workers from the Kaeson industrial zone, which is managed by South Koreans and staffed by North Korean workers.
The complex has effectively shut down. It's the first closure since its opening 9 years ago. 53,000 North Koreans were working at the park. Officials in the north say the closure may be permanent. Last week, the North Koreans began refusing entry to workers from the south. U.S. government officials say they will keep monitoring the situation.
Closing it would be regrettable, given that more than 50,000 North Korean people are employed there, and it would not help them achieve their stated desire to improve their economy and better the lives of their people.
Ventral added that U.S. officials are talking with their South Korean counterparts about the issue.
North Korea's war rhetoric continues with a warning to foreigners to leave South Korea to avoid being caught up in any conflict. Last week, Pyongyang advised foreign embassies to make ready to evacuate the south. North Korean state media aired the warning in its evening news broadcast. The latest bellicose announcement comes 24 hours after North Korea banned workers from the Kaesong industrial complex, the last major symbol of cooperation between North and South. In Japan, newly installed Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said the countries under threat from the north are cooperating with one another. North Korea has made repeated provocative remarks, and we will do whatever is necessary while working with others. Japan deployed Patriot missile batteries around Tokyo ahead of any potential strike by Pyongyang, and the Japanese military have orders to intercept any incoming threat from North Korea.
I'm standing now inside the grounds of the Defense Ministry, which is really pretty much in downtown Tokyo, and you may be able to see, if I just step out of the camera for a moment and we'll zoom in, you may be able to see behind me here on the baseball field. That is normally the Defense Ministry baseball field, but today they have set up 2 missile launchers, as you can see, and there's more equipment behind there. So those are the Patriot missile systems. Obviously, it's not something you would normally see in the middle of a huge capital city like Tokyo, but the Japanese government has decided to take this precaution because it fears that North Korea may be preparing in the next few days to perhaps launch missiles from its east coast, perhaps to launch them over the top of Japan into the Pacific Ocean. And if it does that, the Japanese government says it will use these systems and ships that it has in the Sea of Japan to shoot those down if they look like they're coming anywhere near Japanese territory.
We heard them make the announcement. Here's what they said. And they put it a little bit differently. They say South Korea should come out with a measure to evacuate foreigners living in South Korea to ensure their safety. What is this? It's economic warfare. That's what it is. It's going after the economy of your opponent in all of this and trying to damage it. They already know there's a lot of tension here. For liability reasons, some companies have looked at contingency plans. What would they do with the families of expatriate workers? How would they evacuate their workers in the case there was an explosion here on the Korean Peninsula? All of those kinds of things. North Korea is taking advantage of that, and it's really trying to push it to raise the fears. It is fear-mongering, and I think that it's going to be seen for just that. It's probably a little bit upset that Kaesong, it's shutting it down, forcing it to be shut down, and losing that hard currency. They want to make somebody pay.